So welcome back to yet another amazing guest on the Leading London episode, powered by Vorboss here in central London. And I have Katerina Cabolis.
That's right.
And I got it right, didn't I?
You did.
And you are Head of Business Operations at Encode Club, which is a real startup. You know what I mean. Startup.
It is startup.
Welcome to the Leadership Enigma. I'm going to start with the fact that you're a neuroscience PhD student. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I come from a family of academics who my whole life have told me don't go into academics, which of course means I go into academics.
I love it when your parents tell you something not to do, right? Then
exactly, okay. Yeah. I for a long time, higher education went down the, started as a psychologist or studied psychology at least, turned it into neuroscience, carried on into the PhD, was ready to kind of, carry on into the research world. And then towards the end of the PhD, COVID also hit during this time. I had a lot of lab work, so not being able to go into the lab really affected me. I'm a big talker, as we're
going to find out.
We'll talk. So, just being alone was a little bit difficult on me. And I think all of the things just piled up, and I thought, let me see what else there is. What else can I do?
Right.
I knew I wanted to stay in London, which is also where I did my PhD. I did a lot of talking with friends and family, and everything in the job searching world was a little bit scary. There were words I didn't understand. Even my title now, I mean, I have it as business operations, but it's also BizOps. I feel like if I saw that, 4 or 5 years ago, I'd be like, what the hell is a BizOps?
Well, it says that here, Head of Bizops. It's
exactly.
a thing, right?
Yeah, I actually initially thought that it sounded like a Harry Potter character, which was a big reason as to why I wanted this to be my title. But anyway, we'll get to that later. And my friends who were in startups at the time in London said, it's a great place to get a lot of random experience that might put you in the right direction to see what you like and what you're good at and what you want to do. So I did that. I thought, why not? Why not try it out?
How did you find Encode, or how did they find you?
I found Encode. I used a hiring platform that was kind of tailored towards tech and startups.
Okay.
It was called Otta at the time. I think now it's called Welcome to the Jungle, if I'm not mistaken.
That's quite a cool name.
Yeah. And my friend recommended it to me as the hiring platform that's like Tinder, because you swipe yes or no to the job.
It's the same thing,
It's like a very similar thing. So I thought, what, this is what I need to off of the monotony of writing my thesis. And I saw this company come up, it was education and tech based in London. And I sent an application, and the CEO, Anthony, messaged me almost immediately, and he was like, so you have 8 years of neuroscience experience. Do you know that this is like an analyst position in operations? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, what are you doing? And I said, these are my reasons. I think I want to try something else. And this is why I think I would be a good fit. Mainly, I said that actually I work in a lab of 15 people. Why not work in a company of like a similar size? It's a very similar setup,
but
really.
Lab and startup, tech startup, lab.
Yeah, but there's chaos in both. There's chaos that needs organizing, which is what I like to do.
What does Encode do?
So Encode is I would say an education community.
Right.
We run events and programs in emerging tech. So we bring builders and developers, whatever you want to call people who are interested in working in this space, and we help bring them to ecosystems that want more developers and builders. We call the term emerging tech, but mainly we're talking about companies in AI, companies in blockchain. And
that's why I was going to say, what do you mean by emerging tech?
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of anything in that sphere of blockchain and AI. And we run, the events that we run are programs called hackathons, if you're familiar.
I do. I was going to ask, are these hackathons?
Exactly. They're coding competitions for anyone who doesn't know. So you come along and we have several companies who are like, let's solve these problems, or like, let's build an application using X technology. And then you have teams of developers who come in and build these technologies over several weeks or a couple days, depending on whether it's online or in person. And then we get startup side of things. We get, well, not every time, but you get, you see people building something and bringing it together, which I think, just coming back to where neuroscience kind of fit into things, I think when I did a little bit of soul searching, just having something that brings something a little bit tangible to society, something that I'm helping someone else in some sort of shape or form is what drew me to the space initially. And I absolutely love it. I love running the events. I love organizing things, and I'm sure we'll get into the leadership of things, but having so much responsibility and been given kind of the confidence and trust to play around with things was...
Well, it's messy in a startup, isn't it? You'll do
lots
of things. So let me ask you this, you're younger than me, so what's your take of AI right now? Because there's everywhere you look, someone is talking about or predicting AI. What's your take on AI?
I mean, I think it's an incredible tool that we shouldn't shy away from talking about. And
well, it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not.
Is it?
Exactly.
It's here.
You're either harnessing
it. Is it a superhero or is it a supervillain?
I think always depends on how one
depends on the humans using it,
interacts with it and uses it. Honestly, I think that's the thing. We can get into the topic of AI agents where they supposedly have this autonomous whatever it is, and I think you can fall into a big ethical hole. But realistically, at the moment, I really see it as a valuable tool that people should just use the same way when the internet was a breakthrough and we had people who were thinking like, it
will never last.
Yeah.
It won't catch on.
Look at us now.
I know. Here we go, right. What's the best example you've seen come out of Encode? What's the most exciting project where you've gone, oh my God?
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I mean, the one that comes to mind, the thing is, I don't have a technical background, obviously.
You have a neuroscience background,
I have a neuroscience background. So to be fair, the things that I find exciting and stick to me might not be the most kind of, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of things to choose from. But there's one team called Footium. They essentially create football teams. So the same way, you know how you have like leagues of cards of, the football players, and they play games, and then you exchange the cards, and then the teams like, what's it called? My partner plays this all the time now. I'm blanking. Clearly not that much of a football fan.
I was going to say,
but
not a football fan.
It's fantasy football.
Oh, the fancy manager in the football league
exactly.
stuff.
So it's exactly
which
that.
Which is huge online.
It's huge. Right. It's that, but on a blockchain. So you can actually exchange things that have a value and cost money and these sorts of things. And it's quite fun, and we actually play it in the office as well. Some more seriously and maybe better than others because some maybe choose their team based on the fact that there's a fat bird on the on the team card, which I thought was cute, but everyone has their preferenence.
Okay. And what happened when you were working with this business then and kind of doing a hackathon around it?
Yeah.
Did it kind of ignite it?
They were a team that kind of we incubated from Encode. So we introduced various members together who we met from various hackathons and events that we ran.
Right.
And it was really their idea that they brought together that one of our co-founders, Anthony, as well, had a lot of say in. He's a massive football fan. It all just kind of came together. I think there was an interest in football. There was an interest in building something on the blockchain. All of them liked fantasy football anyway. And, it
was a natural fit.
It was a natural fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's happened as a result of this?
And now they have a proper company of their own. Mm-hmm. They're, I think, 6 people or so. They're actually working from our hub, which I haven't had a chance to mention. We've just opened
Tell us about the hub.
Encode Hub in Shoreditch. It's a 10-minute walk away.
Shoreditch is a very cool. We just had someone who talked about Shoreditch.
Yeah, it's the best. Honestly, it's so fun.
What's your favorite place in Shoreditch?
I'm a coffee nerd.
Okay.
So it will have to be either Ozone or Kiss the Hippo or Origin.
I think because there's Flight Club is also in Shoreditch, isn't it? The darts place.
Yes, but that's not coffee.
No, I know. I just moved off good coffee straight away.
You were just like, that's great, but how about this?
I've been doing this a while today.
To be fair, Flight Club is very fun. I did my birthday there a couple years ago.
So tell me, go on. I interrupted.
Yeah, sorry. So Footium, they now have their own company. They have
they're a real thing.
They're a real thing. They've raised their own money. They're doing great. And they're working from our hub here in Shoreditch, where we have 5 floors of co-working space where we're trying to bring builders, cool companies together, all within the tech space. And it's great to kind of be able to see them on a daily basis. And actually, we were just having a coffee together and chit-chatting about things. So it's great.
So you're working in a small, chaotic startup, which is great. You're a younger leader. Have you got any direct reports?
I do. I have, above me is the CEO, Anthony.
I'm going to talk to you about the managing up piece in a minute.
And then below me, I have a team of 3 young ladies.
Okay, so how do you see yourself as a leader now at this stage of your career in a startup, slightly chaotic, with people looking to you as their line manager? How do you see yourself as a leader? I
think that's an interesting question because the way you see yourself sometimes is different from not the front I put on, but I try to be a certain way. I still feel like I'm figuring things out, and it's a lot of. If you become the CEO, you'll still be. I think there's a lot of trial and error, but that's also just learning, right? Like that's how the human brain learns things. We try things out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and those are you kind of take direction after that. But yeah, it's been a very rewarding journey. I'm very thankful for the people who also work with me because I think they also show a lot of patience and trust in me figuring things out. Yeah. You may be able to tell, but I have a very friendly approach. I'm putting in corporate words now, but I think there's quite a flat. Although there's hierarchy, I think we approach things in quite a flat way. So I
Which
don't.
Is a very startup.
Yeah, you have to be, right?
Everyone does everything.
Everyone does everything. Right, yeah. I take beers up and downstairs. I open doors. I all these things. Which I think is important because I think setting examples is a great way to empower people as well and show them what at least you think good leadership is. What's been your biggest lesson in leadership so far? Where you may have got something wrong or you caught yourself, you went, it didn't work. Yeah, I think it has to do with giving up this false need for perfection, which might come a little bit from my background as a researcher, if I can say that, where a lot of it was so independent. So, and things in academia can take a little bit longer than in the startup world. So you have the time to sit and make a deck that's. I'm laughing because 5 years ago I didn't know what a deck was, but now I know. We just called them PowerPoints. But I could take my time. I could create the graph. I could make sure everything was in the perfect position where I wanted it. All these things. There's no time. It was fast failure for you now, isn't it? Exactly. There's no time to do that. And sometimes, my boss is like, I need this yesterday, but I'm telling you today. So chip chop, and we've got a million other things that need to be sorted and stuff. So I think. Are you a perfectionist? Well, I don't think I am anymore. I don't know if I was before. So how have you? so you've gone, as you've described it, to having maybe plenty of time where you can perfect something. Exactly. To now where it's just get on with it and let's get it wrong fast. I think you just have to. How have you rewired? Get it good enough. Yep. Trust yourself a little bit more. Okay. The first draft doesn't need to be just a random first draft that you'll work on 10 times. It can be good enough to just need maybe one more iteration and then we can move on. I always say version 1 is better than version none. That's true. Exactly. Okay. So I think that, and then in the context of leadership, why I'm bringing that up, because I know that this sounds quite self-centered in that I'm bringing it back to myself, but I think that's what I try to teach. Right. Oh, not teach. That's not the right word. But that's what I try to put in the culture of my team as well. Model. Yeah. A little bit. I don't know if that's the right way of going about things. But yeah, I think making sure that you have all the information or as much information as you can get to make the first version of whatever you're doing well enough, and then we only need to spend an X amount of time more to kind of quote unquote fix things or whatever it might be.
Because in your world, things will change really quickly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the world is changing really quickly.
Yes.
Kind of the final thing I want to talk to you about is you mentioned that managing up. How do you manage up?
With a lot of patience and grace. Which
Encode are listening to this when this goes out, and
no.
So how do you manage up? Because everyone has to.
Yeah.
Even if a CEO may have to manage up towards the chair of the board.
Always.
So how do you manage up?
I think I've now been at Encode for almost 3 years.
Right.
So you get to know one another quite well, I think. And obviously it's always trust. I think it's trust. You trust that when I'm bothering him and I'm like, we actually need to pay attention to this and work on this, he can trust that, okay, like she's bugging me for a reason and this needs to be done because X, Y, Z. And then I can also, if he has a day where maybe things are a little bit grumpier than usual, which happens at times. And again, maybe grumpy is not the right word, but I can also be like, all right, I'm going to adjust the way we do things today, just make sure that everything's flowing as it needs to do. Yep. I'll make a list of things that I need to check in at the end of the day, and we'll sort it like that. So I think it's kind of what you said, just adapting and remembering that everyone's human. Not everyone can have their best day every single day, and the trust that you can build with someone that even if they're not having a best day, it'll be back. We'll come back to it.
I'm going to ask you a question deliberately as a younger lead, and I say that because I think it's fascinating to have spoken to so many people today. You've got 3 team members. You get into a lift. You're all in the lift. You get out. Doors shut. What do you hope they say about you?
I am always worried about this, which again I think is a little bit self-centered and not healthy. But I hope that they can see that I'm also human and that I'm trying my best. And I know that I make mistakes, but
welcome to the human
exactly
race, right?
I think what I always try to do is give context and then hope that people are kind of mature enough and independent enough to be able to fill in the gaps accordingly. I don't know what I hope they say. I hope they say
nice things. There we go. We can live with that, can't we? What's the hope for you? Do you see yourself staying in startup-y tech world, or are you gathering skills and capabilities to do something else?
That's a good question. I really can't picture.
Or you just don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
opportunity will knock, and
at the moment I'm having so much fun. I love my job to the point where my partner almost gets annoyed at times by how much I'm like, I love my job. But I can't picture myself doing anything else. Right now, so much fun. I mean, things change month by month. We focus on different things. So I have the variety. I have the trust from up and down to kind of take things as I want to take them. Right. And I have team members that I trust as well, who we can like play around with. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's see what happens. And I don't know, what else do you need?
At this stage, that sounds pretty good, really, in a world that is mildly chaotic. You said XYZ. Where are you from?
I'm Greek American, so both my parents are very, very Greek, but right. I was born and raised in Connecticut in the States. So I left the States when I was 9, moved to Greece, went to a Greek school, culture shock number 1. Then my parents decided when I was 14, you know what, let's go back to the States for 1 year. Yes. Went to North Carolina, did high school for the first year there, came back to Greece, finished school, and then I was like, you know what? Let's go to London. That hasn't been in the mix.
What could possibly go wrong?
What can go wrong?
With that?
And here we are.
The fact that you've also had experience of different countries, different cultures is something that I find in very successful leaders. They've also had that international. Has living in the US and living in Greece helped you in navigating what is a very multicultural place, London?
100%. Okay. I feel like this is home very much because of that reason.
And the diversity within the city.
The diversity.
Gotcha.
I think everyone here, I mean, the amount of people I meet who are actual true quote unquote Londoners.
I don't think anyone's a true.
No one is, yeah. Or we all are. You know what I mean? Like it's.
We're all citizens of the universe in some ways, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I think the variety from what I've grown up with I kind of just see bottled up in everyone I kind of interact with and meet in London. And everyone's also so open and accepting and, want to hear more about my experiences, and it's kind of vice versa as well. So
what made you want to do this? Come in and talk on.
Other than that, my boss was like, Katerina would love to do this.
Did your boss know that you liked
No,
to
but
talk?
he knows. He knows. No, honestly,
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds so fun. And I want to hear it back and compare my answers to everyone else. And
every conversation has been very different because nothing's scripted. I'm just curious, and I'm just loving to listen to people and just take me where you want to go in the conversation. So my final question to you is this. What's been the best piece of leadership advice that you have given or received so far?
Don't be afraid to delegate. I think, there's a lot of steps within that. Again, coming back to trust.
Yes.
But as control freaky as I am and want to be, it's impossible for me to hold all the things in my head all at once and not crumble. And that's not the point. And the point is to give other people the torch and let them kind of take things where they want to take it. And maybe it doesn't look exactly like you thought it was going to look, but actually so many times it just is better. It's just better than if I had spent like the 5% of time I have to do this. Then, I think don't be afraid to delegate. Obviously figuring out when and how is a different story, but that is so important, I think.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to come in and chat to me. I really appreciate it. We're getting an incredibly diverse set of perspectives, but I think the real link is actually we're talking about really leading in London or leading in any metropolis, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's lovely that you came and you had that conversation. So thank you so much. I hope you had fun too.
I did. Thank you so much, Adam.
Take care.
Thank you.